Imagine a common morning. The alarm goes off, and within minutes, the atmosphere in your home turns into a silent battlefield. On one side, resistance. On the other, exhausted authority. We shout, we impose punishments, and by the end of the day, what remains is a bitter feeling that obedience only comes through fear. But what if I told you that on the other side of the world, there is a philosophy that eliminates this conflict? In Japan, children are not raised under the weight of punishment, but shaped under the lightness of a timer. While in the West, we struggle for hours to get 10 minutes of attention, the Japanese use what we call the 60-second rule. They do not seek submission, they seek Shitsuke, a word that, if translated literally, means to beautify the body through conduct. In this video, you will understand how 60 seconds can reprogram the brain of a child, or your own, so that respect flows without the need for a single shout. Get ready to discover why modern psychology is finally validating what the temples of Kyoto have known for centuries. Punishment is the confession of a failure in strategy. To understand the 60-second rule, we must first understand a term that changed Japan's destiny after the war: Kaizen. Kai means change, Zen means better. Together, they form continuous improvement. But here is the secret few talk about. Kaizen was not created for machines, but for the human mind. In the West, we were taught that big changes require big efforts. If we want obedience, we demand hours of study or absolute silence. If we fail, the punishment is proportional to our frustration. The Japanese reversed this logic. They teach that psychological resistance is like a wall. If you try to jump a 3-meter wall all at once, you give up before you even try. But what if the step is only a few centimeters high? The 60-second rule consists of asking that a task, whether it is putting toys away, reading a book, or sitting quietly, be done for exactly 1 minute, every day, at the same time. It sounds small, almost useless, right? But in the Eastern mindset, the goal is not the completed task. The goal is the construction of the inner dojo, the place where discipline becomes a natural habit, not an external imposition. When you remove the pressure of time, you remove the fear of failure. And where there is no fear, there is no need for rebellion. This is where we enter the concept of Shitsuke. In Japan, discipline is not seen as correcting mistakes, but as the act of giving shape. Imagine a carpenter polishing wood. He does not strike the wood to make it shine. He touches it with persistence and softness. Japanese respect is not achieved through shouting, but through the modeling of intentionality. If a child refuses to obey, the Japanese master does not ask, "Why don't you do it?" He asks himself, "How can I make this minute so simple that it becomes impossible for them to say no?" When you apply the 60 seconds, you are not giving an order. You are inviting the child to enter a ritual. And in Japan, ritual is sacred. Why does something as simple as 60 seconds work where severe punishments fail? The answer lies hidden in a primitive structure of our brain called the amygdala. In neuroscience, the amygdala is our alarm center. When you impose a long or difficult task on a child, or on yourself, and add the pressure of punishment, the brain interprets this as a threat. The result? A fight or flight response. This is where the 60-second rule becomes brilliant. By reducing the task to just 1 minute, you pass under the radar of the amygdala. The effort is so small that the brain does not feel the need to trigger the alarm. This allows what psychologists call neuroplasticity through successive approximation. Instead of forcing a sudden change, you are creating a new neural pathway of success. Each time the child completes that minute, the brain releases a small dose of dopamine, the neurotransmitter of reward. Japan discovered in practice what science took centuries to prove. Real obedience does not come from repression, but from psychological safety. You are not teaching the child to fear you. You are teaching their brain to feel pleasure in being disciplined. How can you apply this today? Forget big promises or threats of taking away the phone. Choose one area of conflict. Let's say homework. The 1-minute pact. Say, we're not going to do everything now. We're just going to do 60 seconds. When the timer rings, you can stop. Consistency over intensity. The secret is not what is done in that minute, but the fact that it is done every day at the same time. In Japan, this is the ritual of the sun. Organic expansion. After a week, the brain has already accepted the habit. Naturally, resistance disappears, and the 60 seconds turn into 5, 10, 30 minutes, without you needing to raise your voice even once. At the end of this journey, you may realize that the 60-second rule is not just for getting your children to obey or for helping you stop procrastinating. It exists to teach us the virtue of patience. In Japan, there is a beautiful concept called ubai tori. It is based on the 4 characters of the trees that bloom in spring: the cherry tree, the plum tree, the peach tree, and the apricot tree. Each one blooms in its own time, in its own way. None is punished for not blooming alongside the others. When you replace punishment with the constancy of 1 minute, you are respecting the blooming of those you love. You are understanding that true respect is not a trophy won through shouting, but a seed that is watered 60 seconds a day with silence and presence. Discipline does not have to be a burden. It can be, as the ancient masters say, the path to freedom. Start today, just 60 seconds. The tomorrow you desire is hidden in the small task you choose not to abandon now. If this teaching resonated with your soul, leave your mark. Comment below. 1 minute of peace. And don't forget to subscribe to continue walking with us on this journey of wisdom. See you in the next encounter.